Hello everyone, this is Joseph. Today I'm going to share with you my suggested solutions for Math PSLE 2019 Paper 2, questions 6, 7 and 8. Now this is a strategy that I am always adopting, right? And these are the 3 questions that I'm going through. Okay, let's begin. Now, question 6. The figure is made up of 3 squares. We are supposed to find angle x. Now, we need to know the properties of a square. A square has 4 equal sides and a square has 4 right angles. That means a square has 4 90 degrees. So I'm going to plug in 90 degrees into my model. So this is 90, this is 90, this is 90, 90, and this is 90. Up here is 90. Alright? Okay, now I believe all of you know that this is a straight line. So I can find what is this angle. So this angle is actually 180 degrees minus 128 degrees. That gives us 52 degrees. Okay? Alright, now after knowing the 52 degrees, I'm also very sure that all of you know what is this angle. Now this angle is easily found. It's actually 180 minus 52 minus 90. So the angle up there is actually 38. Okay, so I'm going to plug in all the values that I have found so far. Right? So this is 38. This is 52. Okay? Right. Now, if this is 38, then I should know how to find this angle. Okay, I'm going to remove this one. Okay, so this angle here is found. We use 90 minus 38 is our 52. Right? Again, I'm going to plug it in. So this is my 52. Okay, now after knowing my 52, I can find the angle that is next to the angle x. I'm going to mark it in red, this one here. Okay, because it is within the same triangle here. So, and this is 90. Alright, now I'm looking at this triangle. Give me a minute. This one here in yellow. Okay, alright, so the one that is in yellow, I can find this angle, the one that is in red. So the one that is in red is actually 180 minus 90 minus 52. Right? That is actually our 38. So we have found what is angle x. Angle x is actually sharing the same line. So I'm going to sketch this angle x. And this is our 38. So angle x is actually found. What is angle x? Angle x is 180 degrees minus 38 degrees. Angle x is 142 degrees. So number 6 is done. The answer is angle x is equal to 142 degrees. So number 6 looks like there's little information, but because of the square property, it becomes easy. Question 7 is a bar graph. Okay, now we know that there are no readings on the y-axis, but we can use units to represent. Okay, so I'm going to use units now. This is 5 units. This is, okay, let me rewrite. This is 5 units. This is 10 units. This is 15. This is 20. And this is 25. Now, January is 10. So 10 books were read in January. February is 20. So 20 books were read in February. For the month of March, it is 8 units. Okay? And for the month of April, it is 22 units. So I'm going to plug in all the units next to the values for each month. So again, in January, 10 units of books were read. In February, 20 units of books were read. In March, 8 units. In April, 22 units. Now, question A. What was the percentage? Okay, what was the percentage increase? What was the percentage increase in the number of books read from January to February? Okay, let's write down. January, we have 10 units. February, we have 20 units. So there is an increase of 10 units. How do I get? So it's an increase because February is more than January. So increase by how much? 20 units minus 10 units. So it is actually 10 units increase. Now, to write a percentage, we have to use the numerator out of the denominator. Now, denominator is the original 10. Okay? Right? So let me write down a bit clearer for you. Okay, so the increase is the numerator out of the base, which is the January. Then you times the fractions into by 100%. So I'm going to plug in all the information. The increase is 10 units. In January, it's 10 units. And then the whole thing times 100%. So from here, we can already know it is 100%. So this is the answer for part A. Very easily done. Okay, it's a 100% increase. It's double. Now, B. Find the average number of books read in a month from January to April was 75. So we know that the average January to April, it means for the 4 months, the average was 75. So meaning we can find the total of the totals for the 4 months. So it's 75 times 4. So 75 times 4 gives us 300. Alright, and what is 300? 300 is definitely all the units that we know. So January is 10 units, February 20 units, March 8 units, and April 22 units. Meaning 60 units is 300. Right? So 1 unit will be 300 divided by 60. So 300 divided by 60, okay, gives us 5. We have a calculator to help us. Now, part B asks, how many books did class 6A read in April? In April, this is the value. So 22 units read in April. So 22 multiplied by 5, that gives us 110. So part B is done. 7 is completed. Question number 8. Now, a box contained black beads and white beads. So we know there are 2 colors. Now, at first, the number of black beads was 1 out of 3, the number of white beads. Okay, so I'm going to use this method, 1 and 3. Now, the numerator 1 belongs to the color black. I'm going to use BL. Alright, okay, B is good enough. Alright, B. Then the denominator 3 belongs to the color white. Okay, so I can present this in the form of a ratio. Right? So black to white, 1 to 3. Now, something has happened. There's a before and after question. So after a quarter of the black beads, okay, let's settle the first part first. A quarter of the black beads. Now, the black beads must have denominator 4, a quarter, right? So if you look at our before ratio, the black beads is only 1 unit, but we need it to be a 4. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to change this one to 4 by doing equivalent ratio. So I times 4 here, I get a 12. That means the before ratio, black is now 4 units, white is now 12 units. Okay, now what is happening to the black beads? The black beads, there is a they used a quarter of the black beads. So I'm going to do on this side. What is a quarter of the black beads? So a quarter of the black beads means a quarter times 4 units. That gives us 1 unit. So 1 unit was used. Okay, so this one must remove 1 unit. Okay, so when you remove 1 unit, it becomes 3. It becomes a 3. Okay, right. Now, then for the white beads, right, we have 3 out of 8, meaning the white beads should be a total of 8 units. But 12 is quite a difficult number to get 3 out of 8 of 12 times 12. Because 8 and 12, 8 is not divisible by, 12 cannot be divided by 8. Okay, that means 8 is not a factor of 12. So because of this reason, right, the 4:12, this ratio here, okay, has to be another equivalent. What should the equivalent be? It should be in such a way that this 12 can be divided by 8. Alright? Okay, so what we know is we have to go all the way back to common multiple. Alright? So now, one more time. So this time, the before ratio is no longer 4:12. The before ratio has to change to something is to 48. So the white has to be 48 units so that it can be divided by 8. So for the 12 to become 48, it must be multiplied by 4. So it means that the black beads is no longer 4 units, it is now 16 units. So this is the new before ratio. Okay, now we have to go back to the same action. All right, what did they say? 1/4, 1 out of 4, okay, of the black beads. This is black, huh? So 1 out of 4 of the black beads, which is 16 units here, are used. So if 1/4 times 16 units, we should get 4 units. Right? So 4 units used. When 4 units is used, I have to minus 4 here, so it becomes 12. Alright? Okay, what about the white ones? So for the white ones, it is 3 out of 8 of the white beads. Okay, so 3/8 times 48 units, right? Your calculator will tell you we should have 18. So minus 18 from here. 48 minus 18 gives us 30. So this is our new after ratio. Okay, let's look at question A. What fraction of the beads were used? fractions of the bits were used. Okay, bits in this case is referring to black and white. All right, so looking at these two information here, these are the used bits. Okay, all right. Now we also need the total bits, because a fraction needs to have a total. The denominator is a total, so the total is 64 here. All right, so the used bits will be 4 plus 18 out of 64. So if I use my calculator, key in the information, I should get 11 out of 32. So A is done. Okay, part B. How many bits were there in the box at first? We have this information here, 63. 63 bits were left. All right, which is here. Okay. All right, so let's write down 12 units plus 30 units gives us 42 units. So 42 units has to be, 42 units has to be 63. Okay, all right, because 42 units left, so 63 units left, so 42 units must be 63. Okay, all right, so what is 1 unit? 1 unit is 63 divided by 42. Okay, now 63 divided by 42. Okay, 63 divided by 42 give us a decimal. It's okay, 1.5. So 1 unit is 1.5. Right, how many bits were there in the box at first? So at first it's 64. Right, it was found earlier over here. All right, 64 at first. So I'm going to do it this part. So 64 units at first will be 64 multiplied by 1.5. So 64 times 1.5 gives us 96. So 96 is our answer for part B. So part B is completed. Okay, all right. So number 8 is done. Okay, today I've shared with you my suggested solutions for questions 6, 7, and 8. Remember to play back the video to get a better understanding on how to go about solving the 3 questions. Now, my new videos to be uploaded, to be shared, will be on question 9 to 17. Okay? All right. Now, to receive notifications of my new videos, remember to subscribe to my channel. If you like my today's sharing, give it a tick. Okay, and don't forget to share with friends who need to know more, wants to know more. All right? Okay. Thank you very much for watching my video. Thank you for supporting my channel. Right? Do take care of yourself, and I see you again. This is Joseph. Goodbye.